Mic check, 1 1 2. What's happening, everybody? Morning. Hit that like button if you don't mind when you come in. Sorry for the little bit of a late start. I was gonna do this at 8 o'clock, and then I decided to break in my new shoes, and the new shoes felt so good that I kept walking. And I kept walking, and I kept walking. So, we got to a point where I just walked, and I'm like, oh, I got to do a podcast. So I headed back, got me a cola, and of course, when I came in, I mixed my cola, you know, yeah, I'm gonna pull up. We'll do a little bit of gaming news to this morning. I mean, it's going to be very little gaming news. I'm just going to put this up on the screen here and just talk about it briefly. I have no idea why my music is not playing. I have to do something. I'll probably have to update something. Let's see. Um, how's everybody's week been? I was a little bit sick earlier this week, Wednesday into Thursday. I felt everything kind of felt better on yesterday. My fever came down. Had a fever about a 100.1 or point 0.2. It was something like that, and but that has gone away. Sore throat, which I took a Hall's Mental Heath and Tylenol and all that good stuff. So doing good, doing better. Just gonna put this up on the screen. This is about I'm really gonna talk about the mental health issues, especially with how it can possibly affect the gaming community. But this broke yesterday at like 12 o'clock, and but if you don't know, allegedly, and I don't know why this is even news. This should be expected. I believe Grand Theft Auto 1, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, respectively, all came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there. So allegedly, they're going to have high res textures and increased draw distances, and they're going to put in the GTA 5 controls. So again, I don't know how this is going to affect character models. I don't know if they're going in and doing that, but apparently, of course, I'm going to buy this. I love the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. I just wish they had included Vice City stories and Liberty City stories. I don't know why those didn't get the treatment, so to speak. But sounds like they're doing to Grand Theft Auto what Rockstar's doing to Grand Theft Auto, the same thing BioWare and EA did to Mass Effect. Just going in high res textures, better quality sound. I don't know how that's going to work with the music selection, because the music, I assume the licenses have run out, but I don't know how that works. They're definitely not on that. That's a business thing. I would love if somebody knows how that works. Leave a comment in the comment section after the podcast is over. I do read the comments. I do appreciate your participation. Hey, if you're kind enough to give me an ear, go ahead and please leave a comment. It's not that big a deal. Says here the first details about the upcoming GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition have leaked on a Rockstar support page on an article, and it's been removed. So I guess if you want to take it with a grain of salt, is that what you guys say? Says confirm some of the improvements we can expect. Again, it's due out. I guess it's coming out next month. It's just crazy. Or in December, I'm not for sure. But again, I'm buying this. This is one of my favorite trilogies of that genre of the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, the Mass Effect trilogy. I enjoyed the Gears trilogy. I do think it kind of went off rails a little bit, but it's still a good set of games. I like the original Halo trilogy. Halo 4 and 5 to me were just good. They weren't great. So looking forward to Halo Infinite once the campaign is done. He make that clear once the campaign is done. I don't give a rats, you know what, about multiplayer. You all know that. So, but that will be part of what we talk about today with the undiagnosed mental health issues. But we'll talk more about that here, and that's mainly what I really want to talk about. Is because if you don't know, I've been lucky. I've been working in the healthcare field since 1994. So I've seen a lot of good things and I've seen a lot of bad things. The good outweighs the bad. Let me make that clear. What some of the good things, laparoscopic surgeries have. I mean, you can go and get your gallbladder taken out at 8 o'clock in the morning and be home by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been in a surgery where we did a gallbladder surgery laparoscopically, skin to skin. That means the surgeon makes his first incision. The surgeon made this is a general surgeon. He made his incision at 2:09 in the afternoon. We were out of that room at 2:26. Out of the room, meaning skin to skin, out of the room. Done. Patient on their way to recovery. Okay, that was done laparoscopically. Literally, patient was under for maybe 30 minutes. Under anesthesia. Woke up. Of course, then they're having a surgery done in a major surgery unit. It was a 23-hour stay. That was back in the early 2000s. Now that patient can go to an outpatient center. A woman can go and have breast augmentation. She can go in with an A cup at 8 o'clock and walk out a B or a C cup at 12 o'clock, and same day, and be home. Be sore, have to have a follow up, but that's the way medicine has. That's one of the really good things about medicine. Some of the bad things that have happened, addictions have gone up. Okay. There's a show on Hulu right now called Pill Sick. It's on Hulu. If you all have Hulu, I recommend it. It's something else. It's something else. How they were, and it has methamphetamine and other devices have destroyed people's families, their homes. It is, people have OD'd on it. There's people we walk around with Narcan. If you're a first responder, you walk around with Narcan. And if somebody ODs, you give them Narcan. They may come back. They may not. Okay. So that is some of the good things. But shout out to everybody that's here in the chat. We'll be listening later. What kind of got me wanting to talk about it? Let me see if I can pull some of the screens up. See if we can pull up a list here. Okay. Let's just look at some of the mental health issues that are affecting people. But how many of you all plan on buying GTA, the trilogy, the new one when it comes out? I plan on buying it. So, but let's look at some of these because these are just some of the main ones that people have, because a lot of these branch out into different ones. And put here. Well, now, why did I get kind of an interest in this? I heard, shout out to J-Dub City, he had done a Twitter space talking about it and had people calling in and things like that and talking about it. But it's a big deal. It is a big deal. You have a lot of undiagnosed mental illness. I think this kind of started out as people were kind of laughing and kind of joking because somebody had allegedly pulled a gun out on camera, and this person felt threatened, and it has happened multiple times in the Xbox community for some reason. It can happen at any point. I've seen people pull machetes out on, because they, they feel their manhood is being threatened. But it really has spun down to what I mean. You have a lot of undiagnosed mental illness, and this is going to be a hard conversation because, and this has to be said. And I understand people may not like this. What is going to be said? There's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness within the Black community in the United States of America. It can't be quantified. Can't put a number on it. There's multiple reasons for it. There's multiple issues going on. With Black men, you have the lack of fathers in the homes. You have the lack of ability to go get resources to maintain just a basic lifestyle. With Black women, they are constantly their beauty is constantly attacked. Consciously and subconsciously. So I mean, again, I'm not. There's multiple reasons why people, and there's a stigma with seeking help. Okay, there is a stigma now. It's gotten better within medicine. In the late '90s, they went to what is called a holistic approach to the person, to the individual. Therefore, the person isn't just isn't just a disease process. You don't just have that disease. You're still a person. There are medications that you can take. Okay. They have commercials about anxiety, about depression. My story is that once my father died, I went through depression. I didn't even know I was depressed because I was doing all the things that everybody says to do. You get up in the morning, you take a shower, you eat, you go to work. I came home. I was doing that. But there were other things, but I wasn't doing things like going outside. Why? Because I was depressed. My dad's birthday was on Valentine's Day. My dad was born on February 14th. So I would have anxiety issues if I went to the grocery store and I would see Valentine's stuff. I didn't know why. Well, it's because my dad's birthday was the 14th. My dad was no longer here. And then you go through the first everything. I had the first birthday when he wasn't here. We had to go through Thanksgiving. Tearing up a little bit right now. I had first Christmas. So okay, so I had to go and get help because of the depression because I was having anxiety issues. Guys, your mental health is extremely important. You have to take care of yourself. And it's okay. And I'm just telling you, as somebody who works in healthcare and somebody who went through depression, it's okay to reach out. Don't be ashamed of that. Please don't. Because you can end up hurting yourself. You can hurt some other people. And whether you know it or not, people do care about you. Not feel like it. They feel like you're in a room by yourself, and that's part of the disorders. It's okay. Some of the mental health issues that we have are anxiety disorders. This is one of my favorite ones. I mean, people do have different levels of anxiety disorders. Some people get anxieties riding roller coasters. Okay. I watched the movie Jaws when I was a little boy. I guess I was like 8 years old. I still don't like going to the ocean and getting into the water past my ankles because of that movie. That was like, what? I mean, it's kind of but it's kind of a socially accepted anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like getting in the water because sharks are in the water. So you have behavior and emotional disorders in children that are undiagnosed. ADD, maybe you've heard of it. ADHD when you get to adults. ADHD is extremely prevalent in the United States. bipolar affective disorder. This is what I have recognized this going on in the gaming community. I think you have a lot of people suffering from a bipolar affective disorder. All right. Depression. Okay. I was depressed when my father passed. I was eating disorders. A movie came out years ago, made over $2 billion, called Avengers Endgame. So in Avengers Endgame, Thor, one of the Avengers, had a eating disorder because he was depressed because what had happened, and he felt like a failure. So his anger turned inward, and he started harming himself with the eating disorder. Right? There's other reasons where people have disorders on eating. You could have other conditions. Obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. I know you've heard of this one. A lot of us in the medical field have OCD because we're taught an order of operation. And if you get outside that order of operation, you start getting compulsive. Like, we have a compulsive disorder to clean right now because of the pandemic. We compulsively and obsessively clean everything. We compulsively and obsessively wash our hands. We compulsively make sure we have our mask on. Okay? But it can become a disorder to the point where you're going into somebody's house and you're trying to rearrange their furniture. Okay. Paranoia. Everybody's out to get you. That's that famous disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder. You see a lot of that in veterans. I think you're seeing a lot of this in the Black community as well. Okay. But post-traumatic stress disorder. Basic psychosis, that's just a general term. Undiagnosed schizophrenia. I'm sure you've heard of schizophrenia. And this website does show where you can go get help. But I want to concentrate on the bipolar affective disorder because that's what I think we're seeing. We're also seeing validation issues. Okay. You have people that seek outside validating issues. An outside validating tool in the gaming community is Metacritic. Okay. That's an outside tool of validation. Why is it an outside tool? Because Metacritic has absolutely nothing to do with what you buy. It shouldn't. But some people will say that game got a low Metacritic score. That's why it's trash or it's not that good. How many of you all heard that Days Gone wasn't good because it had a poor Metacritic score? I mean, there were people running around actually saying that. And the reason why they were saying that is because those people saying it was bad because of Metacritic, they seek outside, they're seeking an outside source of validation. Well, this validates that it's not that good, and therefore, because it's not that good, I'm going to say that the game is not that good, and therefore, because the game is not on my preferred platform, I no longer worry about it. I don't care about it. So let me see if I can put this up on the screen. I don't know if this will come up because I'm going through. Now, I don't know if this will work correctly. I have to bring it up a different way. Okay, it did come up. Okay, I apologize. Okay. This is from Psych Central. And I'm not talking to you as much as a gamer, as much as somebody who's been in the healthcare field since 1994, doing different things. Okay, let me make that clear. Doing different things. So, but what is also going on in the gaming community is that there's a trap of external validation for self-esteem. Okay. Again, so again, people use external validating tools, Metacritic, trophies, to validate different things. How many men have you heard brag about how many women they've got with? That's a validation. They're using their their sexual conquest of women to say, well, that makes me a Mac. That makes me a pimp. You know, I'm Big Daddy from Cincinnati. Again, they're using the validation of the woman's womb to validate their self-esteem and their self-worth, not understanding that the fact that you have to use an external tool to validate yourself makes you weak, makes you corny, makes you sound stupid. Okay. I played baseball when I was a little kid. I was 9 or 10 years old. I think I was 9, or maybe I was 8. And at the end of the season, they gave people trophies. And I batted third on my team, and I got a batting trophy. Now, I wasn't the only one who got a batting trophy, but I didn't understand why I got a trophy, because me batting third meant I was supposed to make contact with the ball. Okay, if there was a runner on first base, my job was to try to drive him in. Okay, you see that right now in baseball right now. Or if you play MLB The Show, when you go to the strategy, if you put it on easy and they're trying to tell you basic baseball strategy, yeah, the third guy up at bat, it needs to drive that runner home. Okay, so preferably with a home run, you get 2 runs, right? But I got a trophy, and I never understood why they gave me a trophy for something I was supposed to do. I even said that because you got to go to the microphone, like a podium, and talk and things like that. Actually, the fourth batter is your cleanup guy, but that's fine if you want to say the third batter. I didn't bat cleanup. They didn't call my position cleanup. They just wanted me to drive. The first guy was a contact hitter, and he was usually the fastest guy on the team. The second guy would bunt a lot of the times to push that run over. Then the third guy up, me, job was to try to drive the ball home, or drive that runner home. But my point here is that, I'm getting kind of off topic. My point here is that I did not understand why I got a trophy for hitting the baseball. I was batting third. I was supposed to hit the baseball. Okay. But the trophy is it's an external validator for self-esteem. How many athletes, do we know that have gone broke? I mean, there was a TV show on Netflix called Broke. How the hell did Andre Bad Moon Rising, go broke? How did Bernie Kosar go broke? Because they were using external things. He said it. Oh, somebody would come in with a brand new Lexus. I wanted a brand new Lexus. Why? Validation. Okay? Validation. And so it says, when you are a small child whose whole existence and well-being depends on others, rejection actually equals existential death. That's the way a child thinks. Okay? My whole existence is, I gotta, is based on me doing this. How many children do we see? You see parents getting into fights. It's on YouTube. You see parents getting into fights at Little League games. I coached Little League for 3 years. I coached Little League. The kids were great. They were fun. They were excited to play. They wanted to learn. But you always had some numbnuts out there thinking that his son was the next Nolan Ryan, or, his son, was the next Pete Rose. It's like, no, the kids are here to have fun. The kids are here to have fun. And they can learn something too, but they're mostly here to have fun, not become the next Pete Rose. I mean, and that alone is bad. Didn't Pete Rose get convicted for gambling? So, okay. So, but it says, a lot of us grow up into wounded and selfless adults whose self-perception is skewed or blurry. Okay? Because, again, you're seeking outside tools of validation. And if you have more of those tools, you'll say, well, that doesn't matter. Well, the fact you have to go outside to go in means that's a sign of weakness. You do need to go talk to somebody. Okay? And I'm really trying to say it's okay to go talk to people about it. Shout out to you, Big Cloud. I see you. Big Cloud did a wonderful interview with the tall woman from Resident Evil. I can't say her name. I know Big Cloud tried to break it down in pronunciation like I was in third grade. I still can't do it. But go check that interview out. And so I think Big Cloud, you've interviewed almost everybody from that game. But great job by Big Cloud and where he's taking the channel. Very, very good. I was listening. I was hoping that she would like threaten me in that lady, whatever her name, voice. So, but I have still not played that game. So, and that's like I said, that's a backlog game. That and Returnal. But all this stuff with seeking outside validation happens when when you're a child. It's like somebody, I was out, this was years ago, I was out at a bar, a group of us out drinking, and we had been there since 7:30, and we had been drinking since 7:30. Well, the person that got there at 10 o'clock started trying to power drink to catch up to us. It's like, okay, young lady, we've been here for 3 hours. You just got here. I mean, she was trying to get sloshed, so, but, it just says here, it says for many, it means that they are defined by others. For example, if others think you're great, you must be great. Sound familiar? Or if someone thinks you're bad, then you must be bad. They perceive you as flawed, whether they're right or wrong, then you feel horrible. Everybody's flawed because we're human. So that's not an issue. That's one of the first things you learn in therapy. So this person that seeks outside validation, now again, in the gaming community, it's about these idiots that chase trophies for validation. Let me make that clear. Validation. And the people who use OpenCritic and Metacritic as a reason to buy or not buy something, okay? If you don't want to buy something, you should be man enough or woman enough just to say, yeah, I don't want it. I'm not going to buy it right now, okay? Okay, it's not a race. I mean, remember I was talking about TVs last week. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to pay that much for a television set. I don't give a damn what people say. You can tell me how great the TV is. I don't need it to validate myself. If I can get one, I'll get one. If I can't, I'll be like, oh, I just didn't get one. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try, but I'm not going to validate myself. I'm not going to get depressed and emotional and start crying and pull out a machete or a gun and be like, yeah, I couldn't get myself a television set this year, therefore I'm a horrible person. So again, one, they constantly need other people's approval and validation to feel that they are a good person. Okay. I'm really saying this not to tear people down, but people need to, if you're one of these people, it's okay for you to go get some help. Okay. There again, undiagnosed mental illness, mental disorders, especially in the Black community, and I'm talking about amongst Black men, it's an issue. It's an issue. All right. What you may deem as fun, and I'm not here to say it's not fun, what you may deem as fun, actually they can't discern between what is fun and what is reality and what's fake. Okay, so they put on these online, they put on these online personalities, and you think that's really them, and it's not. I mean, I would say 90% of these guys in the gaming community, they would faint if they ever heard a gunshot. They would faint. So, but again, so we seek outside validation, and this outside validation makes you feel accepted. It makes you feel like you're part of the club. You're one of the cool kids. Oh, I was able to do this. I was able to do that. I grew up playing baseball in Ohio. I actually, as a kid, had a higher on-base batting percentage than a man you probably know named Ken Griffey Jr. That's a true story. Does this mean I'm a better baseball player than Ken Griffey Jr.? Hell no. Not no, but hell no. But but if I ran around talking about, oh, when I was 9 years old, I had a higher batting percentage than he did. I mean, that's seeking outside validation. And it would sound crazy if I said that. And guess what? You'd be right. It's like, man, what is he talking about? Who cares about that? You know? But it says, these people, they will seek outside approval, validation. The tools you see in the gaming community is Open Critic, you see Metacritic, and you see people that chase trophies for validation. Let's see here. And 2, they feel shame or guilt, or even anger or loneliness, anxiety or confusion, and other painful emotions when someone disapproves and invalidates them. Okay? Which leads to a dysfunctional behavior. Seeing that a lot, don't you? Okay. This says here, they talk about Facebook. You could post something, everybody likes it. Rest in peace, this person. You earned your angel wings. You'll see posts like that, and people like it, and they'll say prayers, things like that. So it says, but if you don't, they feel threatened, lonely, upset, socially anxious, and so on. So you see this in the gaming community. And the reason why I think this is happening is because a lot of these men and some women, but it's mostly men. I'm talking to the men right now because I'm a man. So I'm talking about men. Most of the men use their they don't have lives outside of what you see. Meaning that they don't go outside. They don't have a lot of friends outside of their social media circles. This is an issue with social media. They were talking about this at Congress last week with that Facebook whistleblower, with something about Instagram and how little girls are feeling shamed and things like that, or body shamed or something like that. I mean, it was on C-SPAN if you want to go back and look at it, and you could probably pull it up. But you got a lot of people that, their laptops, their phones, their tablets, their desktops, things like that. That is their main social tool. That is their main social tool. Not their ability to go out and actually have a conversation. Like I am supposed to go in like 3 hours to a little sports bar here at 12 noon and meet some friends of mine, and we're going to watch a couple of games. The Florida and LSU is playing at noon, and I think Ronnie wants to watch. I can't remember who else is playing. But they play at noon. So that's a social exercise. That is, I went walking this morning. That's an exercise. That's a social, let me just go out and enjoy the weather, stuff like that. That's a way for you to maintain balance in your life. And a lot of these men don't have that balance. Therefore, they can't discern reality from what's not real. So, you got people out here, if their main social hub, which may be their console, is threatened, or they feel threatened that it's going to be gone, they're going to start losing their minds. They are going to get upset, I should say. And that's what you're seeing with a lot of these cats, whether you're pulling out a knife or a machete or something like that. I mean, they feel threatened. And that's because a lot of these people, just based on what they're saying and the way they're acting, have got some type of bipolar ailment. And they do need to go get help. But that is what you're seeing. Okay? Now I'm not a clinical licensed person. I'm not diagnosing people, but you are seeing a lot of the classic symptoms in them. I feel threatened, and I'm going to pull out. All right, let's really think about that. You brandish a weapon, and I'm trying to get you. That already tells me that I'm going to escalate this up to, I got to get my AR-15. I got to get my AR-15. Okay? And not only do I just have this AR-15, I got a bulletproof vest. That, again, your little pew, pew, pew shooter ain't going to be able to touch me. So it's just at this point in time in human history, it's the easiest thing to do is find somebody. Like at this point in human history, it has never been easier just to find people. You can find them within an hour. So, but when people feel threatened and they feel like, which they shouldn't anyway, but again, why do they feel threatened? Well, because my main social entity hub that I use, is being threatened, and so you see it, you're constantly seeing it. And I saw there was the famous tweet by, and I'm not going to say their name, when the video game Spider-Man came out. All those videos that came out of people being mad and people being upset that it was exclusive to PlayStation. Yeah, Sony had publishing rights. They published it to the PlayStation. That's what they did. I mean, you had tweets like, "You will rue the day you didn't put this on the Xbox." And you had another guy, it was in my timeline, that said, and I'm not going to say no names, maybe if the Metacritic score goes down, this won't affect us that much. Again, seeking outside validation to go ahead and make your life better. That you got a problem, my guy. There's an issue there. Okay? There's an issue there. So I did appreciate J-Dub's podcast because it didn't start. I don't think it started with mental things, but it kind of it went to that. People were making legitimate points. Look, there's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness. How many times you see shootings? You see shootings and undiagnosed mental illness. So, let's see here. Others develop different tendencies that fall on the other side of the spectrum. They disregard others. This is what I'm guilty of. I disregard others' opinions. I don't care about others' opinions. One of the best things that happened to me when I was a little kid, I was playing football just out in the street. And when I was playing football out in the street, I was afraid to go out there and play because I was a little kid. These kids were bigger than me. They were 11 years old. They were 10-year-old. And I was 7 or 8 years old. And of course, we're playing with a Nerf football. And it's just street, And I went out there and I got 1 interception and I scored 3 touchdowns in the street. This wasn't real. It was just street. But that's when I became kind of a legend on the streets of playing football. It was that day. And I still remember I went into my house. I can still remember this like it was yesterday. I went into the house and I looked at my dad and I said, "Dad, I got 3 touchdowns and 1 interception." And my dad just simply looked at me and said, "Yeah, I told you could do it." And just a lot of people, that was a major positive reinforcement for me. He told me you can't place your faith in what other people say. Always stand on your own 2 feet. And even if you fail, at least you tried. Bill Clinton said this about bin Laden. He said he didn't get bin Laden, but he tried to get him. He tried and he failed. At least he tried. Okay. So, but a lot of men did not get that positive reinforcement because their fathers aren't there and their moms can't give it to them. So a lot of these men internalize that anger, and then you see that anger play out on the streets with people getting killed, people getting shot, things like that. And so when you add all this up, their mothers can't give them what they need because their mother is only 50% of the equation. The video game, I can actually use this video game reference, and people gonna roll their eyes. The video game Mass Effect 1, the Arachnite Queen's eggs get taken away from her, and her kids go crazy because they had no guidance. And she tells them they don't have any guidance. They grew up away from their mothers. So how could they? And again, a lot of these men do not have the proper social outlets to take their, and look, multiple issues, as I said before, multiple issues. Racism and white supremacy. Again, lack of resources, lack of positive role models. We can go on and on and on. Okay. And that leads to a lot of self-doubt, a lot of anger issues, a lot of disassociated syndrome. This is why when I told you guys, people are going to take things differently, you know. And I specifically remember a lot of brothers attacking the YouTuber, the YouTuber Ash and Luca. And I'm like, look, if you're going to attack her, you need to get the hell away from my channel, because you're not going to be over here attacking another YouTuber, especially a black female YouTuber. Black women already got it hard enough in the United States. Why are you guys attacking? I'm not gonna give you the platform to do that. You need to go. And if I hear about you attacking it, I'll block you. I don't care where you're saying it at. You're getting blocked. A lot of cats got their, a lot of people, a lot of guys got their, what are these things called? They got their moderating statuses taken away because they were on this bull crap. Again, what you may think is funny, other people are not going to do that. It's not somebody else's fault. You can't discern reality from make believe. I get it. I don't. Shout out to like J Dub and J Bari and Optimus Code, stuff like that. They started the Royal Order of Pegasus Nation, and one of their charters, it literally says to defend Sony against the Xbox. Honestly, in my opinion, Sony doesn't need anybody to defend them. Okay, Sony has lawyers. I mean, those lawyers are driving around in Rolls Royces and Mercedes and BMWs. To me, I understand it's all in games. It's all in fun. They're having a good time with it. But there's a group of people out there who can't discern between what's real and what's not real. What did Morpheus say to Neo? People can't determine what's real and what's not real. So back in the day, that's what he told Neo, right? So, but yeah, Sony doesn't need defending. If they do something wrong, if they do something anti-consumer, don't get me wrong, the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commissions, they'll have their butts in the offices. Like, what is going on here? So see, I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people putting stuff out on social media and then people responding to it. You don't have to respond to it. That's part of the mental problem. Okay? That's part of the mental problem. Somebody tweeted me that PlayStation had won like the best console or something, or Xbox won the best console. Again, I don't need to see that because I don't give a damn about the outside. Okay? Nobody on the outside counts. I already know Sony made a good console. How do I know that? Because I have one. So I know it's a good console. Number two, it's very hard to find. Even to this day, a year out, it's hard to find. High demand means if your product is in demand, that means you got a good product. I don't need an award to tell me that. Okay? I don't. But again, I have good mental balance. I went walking this morning. I'm looking forward to social activities outside of gaming. And a lot of people, all they have is their Twitter accounts. I'll see people sitting in bars and they're looking down at their phones, tweeting people, putting something on Facebook. I understand part of that, but the reason you're outside is to get away from that stuff. The reason you're out, and this world has blended together. Okay. That's why you have people say, oh, I'm not taking no phone calls today. No meetings today. I'm going to go play golf. I'm going to go to the putt-putt course. I'm going to go drive, bumper cars today. I'm going to the amusement park. I'm going to the movies. So, that's, and again, you have a group of people who don't understand they've got to unplug. So, but I am going to take a quick little, I'm going to do my Marlin Gaming Nation. I'm going to take a quick little 1 minute break and I'll be right back. Hold on, give me a minute. All right, I'm back. I'm back. My bad. My bad. The that bourbon and coke was talking to me. Was that because I'm back or because the bourbon and coke was talking to me? Okay, bourbon and coke. Okay, yeah. Well, hey, 8:30 in the morning. I've already had a sip. What are you all doing? That studio audience is nothing but crazy. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. But let me tell you another gaming story here. I can't remember which Madden this was. Whichever Madden had Ray Lewis on the cover when he played for the Baltimore Ravens. I was playing this. I went online to play. I challenged the #1 player at the time in the world in Madden. Now, I'm going to give you a story. I'm going to give you a choice. At halftime, what was the score? Was it 31-7? Was it 21-0? Was it 10-0? Or was it 14-3? Now, I'm going to tell you something else. I had the lead in this game at halftime. Now, this is the #1 player in the world. He had all the accolades, and everybody was saying, oh, how good he was. How come I had the #1 player in the world down 31-7? Okay? Again, people telling you that you're something. I mean, this guy had the Madden trophies and all that kind of stuff. This is why you all sitting up there, going outside looking for validation doesn't matter. If you were any good at playing online, you would be getting paid to play online. Okay? It's that simple. You're not that good. And this is back this is back then. This is why playing online is trash. This is why I said playing online is buckus. Means nothing. I said it was a bitch move. Yeah, I said that. Because you're, again, seeking outside validation. Okay? Oh, but it's fun. It's okay. Just don't seek outside validation. Okay? Be man enough to stand on your own, like my dad taught me. But I understand. A lot of these fathers weren't in homes. Guys go through depression. I understand that. Okay? It is okay to reach out for help. All right? It is okay. It doesn't make you any. It takes more of a man or a woman recognizing the weakness and recognizing that they can't do it on their own and seeking help outside of themselves, having enough eternal combustion to pick up the phone and call somebody, than for somebody to self-eternalize it and go seek outside validation through artificial means. I mean, I really hope you guys understand that. All right? One of my favorite bands over the last 20 years was Linkin Park. Linkin Park's lead singer committed suicide. Now, outside looking in, I will never understand that, because to me, he had everything. He had the success. He had a beautiful family. He had an extremely successful group, but he was something internally was not working correctly. And that was one of the hardest days when I heard that. So I thought that was a fake. I'm like, there's no way this is real. So, but again, go ahead and read this. You have narcissistic tendencies is to me there's a little narcissism in all of us, but you have got to, but you got to tone it down. Okay. What's that final verse? The deep and early fear of rejection and abandonment can haunt us forever. That's the truth. Okay. The terror of rejection is omnipresent. Again, the social apparatus gives you an inclusive feeling. when that is threatened or taken away, or you feel like it's going to be taken away, these people that are unbalanced, that do need the help, that need to seek the help, they don't know what to do with themselves. I mean, honestly, if I really do believe if Xbox shut down tomorrow, that some of these guys would explode. I mean, I'm not saying that to be funny. They would go crazy because this is their social tool. This is their social mechanism. Okay, their friends are online. I can't wait to go home and play online with my friends. Really? If you were laid up in a hospital and you needed a kidney transplant, your friends on your friends list are going to fly and get all those tests done? No, they're not. No, they're not. They'll send you prayers. They'll say, my fingers are crossed. I'm saying prayers. I ain't going to go and get all those tests done. They're not. They're not. I mean, they're not. I have friends. There are people that are in the gaming community that have my phone number. Okay, I consider them my friends. Okay? I will always ask them how they're doing, how their families are doing. But those are my friends. Okay? And then you have an inner circle. Your inner circle of friends should always be the ones around you wanting to make you a better person. Okay? Those are your friends. They want you to be a better person. And yeah, they're going to kick you in your ass sometimes and break your balls, but that's what they're supposed to do. All right? But man, if you feel like you're seeking validation from let me make this clear, from an outside source, you really need to take a step back and just go ahead and unplug from it. Just don't go on social media for 3 days. Just take the weekend off. Okay? Go outside, go walking, go see a movie, So God forbid you, with your girl, God forbid you do something with her, that the least time I can understand if you spend a lot of time like gaming per se. If you spend a lot of time gaming because that's your profession, that makes sense to me. But I've seen some of these people, game, and I used to do it, but when I was going through my depression, I was playing games like Oblivion and Skyrim for hours, like from 9 a.m. till, I was, 9 a.m. to 12 at first, and then that turned from 9 a.m. to 3. And then finally, I'm like, well, I'm just going to start because I got myself sucked into that world. But I didn't realize it's because I was seeking something. Because in this world, I was this guy running around with a sword. I had all these magical powers. I didn't have to face the fact that my father wasn't there anymore. Okay? And God forbid if something had happened to the electricity, or if something had, if I couldn't play the game anymore, I don't know what I would have done. Now that I look back on it, it's like, man, I don't know what I would have done if something had happened, because again, I was in a bad spot, even though I was doing everything that the books told me to do. I was getting up, I was walking around, I was going to work, so I mean, so it's okay. I can actually speak from experience on anxiety and on depression and things like that. So this is not a judgment. This is not, oh, you're a terrible person. It is, I'm simply saying to you, it's okay to go out there and reach out for help because I did it. You can just use me for an example. Okay? But I had to learn some of the valuable lessons that I learned as a child when I was going through the therapy. I had to learn that, nothing on the outside counts. This was in the movie Malcolm X. When Malcolm X, before he converted, he was in an argument, and this guy said, he said to the guy, I'm sorry, nothing on the inside matters and everything on the outside count. And the guy said, why, Malcolm? Why does everything on the outside count? Because it didn't. At the end of the day, it does not matter. Nothing on the outside, if you are strong enough, is going to affect you. Okay? But if you don't have the tools, and I'm not saying that to be funny or make fun of Xbox, if you don't have the proper social tools, you're not going to be able to take it on because there's a lot going on. Okay? But the self-actualization, again, remember you have three ids: me the adult, me the child, me the parent. A lot of these cats are still in me the child because they never got to me the adult, because me the adult for them is too hard. It's always easier to be me the child. Okay? It's always bad. It's bad. Okay? So, and a lot of these cats are in that, henceforth why they're pulling weapons. Well, I feel threatened. Okay, well, if there's an omnipresent threat and they see you have a pistol, they can just go out and get a bigger pistol. They may come in, they're like, oh, this guy's strapped. I need to go get some more hitters. See what I'm saying? And I don't give a damn if you're a woman and you're Cagney and Lacey. I don't care if you think you're Dirty Harry. You got 2-3 guns coming at you, man. That's too many guns. You're going down. You're going to get got, And I'm just saying that a lot of these cats are seeking outside validation. This is why when Metacritic scores something, I just roll my eyes at it. Like, whatever. I mean, I'll go make up my own mind. I didn't know I didn't like my aunt's macaroni and cheese until I tried it. I'm like, look, I don't like this. No, very good movie called Open Range. Has Kevin Costner in it. There's a scene in this movie where this guy goes into this general store. This is a Western. The guy goes into a general store and he says, I like to buy a piece of chocolate. And the guy sells it to him and says, man, this is the best tasting chocolate in the whole world. And the guy purchasing it says, well, what did you think about it? And this guy says, excuse me? He said, well, you said it's the best tasting. What did you think about it when you tried it? He said, oh, well, sir, it costs 20 cents. I can't afford it. And he said, well, then how do you know it's the best tasting chocolate in the whole world? Okay. How do you know? And that's the thing. That's but because it said it was, he was using outside validation. That's what that whole scene was about. You don't know something until you actually try it, right? So, but, so you can feel sorry for people like that. And I just, when I see people brandishing guns and, I've seen people brandish machetes, again, they feel threatened. They feel threatened. And it's because they don't have the proper tools and the social tools to go ahead and let their anxiety out. I understand having anxiety. Hey, you want anxiety? Be told you got to go in a room and set up a AAA because the patient's crashing. You got to set up the case. And you got maybe 7 to 10 minutes to get ready before they come barreling through the door and they just throw betadine on the patient. They go into, you talk about anxiety. Well, I've been there. Okay. Depression. Yes. My father passed. I did not process his death correctly. I didn't. Okay. And again, the movie Avengers Endgame, Thor did not process what had happened to his people. So he turned into, quote, fat Thor. He felt so bad that when they were going to snap the new Infinity Gauntlet that they had created, he says it. He says, let me do it. Let me do something good. Because he felt terrible and he wasn't doing good things and he was harming himself. Again, his anger had turned inward. And so a lot of people's anger will turn inward and then they'll go out and seek outside validation. Okay. I had the #1 player in Madden, I don't know, 2007, 2004, the #1 player in the world, according to all the stats and trophies. I had this guy down 31-7 at halftime. Remember the term rage quitting? This guy actually stopped playing. He left his Xbox on for 1 hour. Okay? And it was just sitting there. And I was like, hello? But at the time, I called my girl up into the room and it was, And I waited for him to come back on and come back on, and he never came back on, and I wasn't going to quit, so he left. He came back on, oh, I ordered a pizza, I'm going to have to stop the game. Oh, okay, man, you're good. You know, so I don't give a damn about what your trophy scores are. That means nothing. If you have to go and self-actualize and validate yourself from an outside source, that makes you a bitch ass. I don't care who you are. All right? So stop doing that. And when you see people doing that, you go ahead and you give them a, you know, that's corny, you know, self-validating yourself through outside sources. And again, men do it differently. You'll see some men talking about they the straight gangster Mac. I got 9 kids, and you know, I got 9 kids, you know, and stuff like that, and 4 baby mamas, and they're not telling you about the child support that they on. But they the straight gangster Mac. They the man. Again, they are using a woman's womb, an outside source, to validate themselves. Okay? So seriously, you know, and that's why I said I feel sorry for these guys' kids. I really do. The ones that their kids are going to get beaten up on the playground. Why? Because their daddy's a narcissist. You know, their daddy's not going to give them the right tools they need. What's up, AB? How you doing, brother? You know, so I've been there. So do not feel, again, they feel insecure. That word's up there. I'm not talking about the TV show. They feel insecure. They feel anxious. Hey, you're going to take away my outside source of validation. You know, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I mean, one person told me that the Xbox community feels like they're being oppressed. Oppressed. Okay? I mean, so you're dealing with a lot of undiagnosed mental illnesses, guys. I mean, and it doesn't matter. It's in the gaming community. If you go up to a table, let's just say you go to a nice dinner, and there's 10 people sitting at the table. 6 of those people are on some kind of antidepressant or psychotic. That's your statistic, okay? 6 out of 10 are on some type of antidepressant medication. And at least at this point in time for you guys, it's a lot more, you have a lot more tools. We didn't have this stuff. I'm Gen X. We didn't have this, okay? But you all actually have a chance to go ahead and get, you know, take a look at yourselves. Okay. People ask me, how come I don't do a lot of game streams? It's because I'm doing other stuff. My life doesn't revolve around my PlayStation or my PC. Gaming is a hobby. It's a hobby. It's not my life. I don't get paid to game. Yes, my channel makes a little bit of scratch money. I'm not going to lie. And I appreciate all the donations and things. I mean, people have donated a lot of things. You know, J-Dub, you know, help me get an Xbox Series X. Ember 17 with the PlayStation 5. There's no doubt about that. I appreciate everything that people do. Okay, but it doesn't validate my self-worth. I put up those videos of people last Christmas. If you all want to see something funny, if you all just want a quick laugh, if you all just want to break down laughing, okay? If you all want to break down laughing, watch the videos. Just type on YouTube, PlayStation 5 Christmas GameStop. You will see and hear some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see. People are fighting, people are cussing, and you will be on the ground laughing because when you actually see it outside looking in, how stupid these people look, you're gonna be like, I don't want to be that guy. I mean, people were fighting, they were calling the cops. You know, I've been here since 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that kind of stuff, you know. And then the dude coming down from GameStop, I'm telling you, people waiting in line all night long. Big sign up. We only have 2. Oh, I'm going to wait here for 10 hours anyway. I mean, you got to be kidding me, you know. And then somebody was like, okay, he comes out, we're sold out. And you hear somebody say, he's lying. I mean, think about what you'd be doing at 2 o'clock in the morning, because here's what I'm doing. Hey, that's what I'm doing. At 2 o'clock in the morning, what are we doing? And look, I've been there. I've been to midnight launches. I went to the Halo 3 Finish the Fight midnight launch at Best Buy. I was there. My hands up. Okay. I went to the Grand Theft Auto 4 launch, you know. But that's fandom. That's what fandom does. That's good, healthy fandom. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like waiting for like 10 hours and then not accomplishing my goal. I mean, I would be 38 hot. You know, I would be like, you know, I would be madder than a hornet. So, you know, it just is. And I'll shout out to Pop Smoking Ghost. He subscribed a few days ago. Duck Foo. Yeah, you subscribed a few days ago. I appreciate you all, man. But the mental health issue is serious. I understand it's not talked about a whole lot. It's not talked about a whole lot in the Black community. There's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness in the Black community. Personally, what I think I'm seeing is a lot of bipolar disorder. I think people do feel threatened that their media device, whether it be their PlayStation or their Xbox, they feel like that's going to go away, and they feel threatened. And so they feel like, well, if I branded something, if Microsoft, if you're going after the brand that I love and it is providing me all this outside validating stuff, then, you know, and once that's taken away from me, these guys feel like they don't have nothing else. Okay. So I'm going to use these outside self-validating tools to validate my own being. So I'm going to use OpenCritic and Metacritic. And that way, if something comes out, I can have this, and everybody is doing this. And I don't want to hear people saying, well, I ain't doing that. I've seen it. So stop friggin' lying. I've seen people doing it. So I've seen people posting Metacritic scores, and I've seen people posting, and again, I post Metacritic scores, but it's not to validate anything. It's just to say, oh, the game got a high Metacritic score. I guess people like the game. Okay? Now, I've said before, and I've said this to other Black men, that this whole thing, let's look at some other things outside. Let's look at all this crap with these incels we're talking about with Kathleen Kennedy, the woman who does Star Wars. Okay? These dudes, again, mental health issues.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, Kathleen Kennedy's not going anywhere with Star Wars. She's not. That Star Wars has made billions of dollars. The most popular toy doll last year, the most popular doll was what? The Baby Yoda. Oh, who's the executive producer of that show? Kathleen Kennedy. Says it right there. Mandalorian, directed by Dave Filoni, directed by Jon Favreau, or written by Jon Favreau, Filoni, executive producer Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, she's not going anywhere, folks. You know, but again, undiagnosed mental illness. Here come these incels. She's a feminist. She's a feminist. Okay, don't watch it. Don't watch it. You don't like it, don't watch it. But it's like, you know, but here comes the validating tool. I gotta watch it. They have to watch it so that they can say it sucks and that she's got to go. Do you see the psychosis there? They're not man enough just not to go watch it. Okay? They have to validate. I got people validating to me why they bought an Xbox or why they bought a PlayStation. Look, you don't have to validate anything. It's your money. Your money. Oh, shout out to you, J3. Thanks for the content, man. No problem, my brother. No problem, man. Thanks for coming through, man. Thanks for coming through. But again, you got grown ass men, and I'm talking about the Black men that are saying this. You know, you're not man enough to not watch it. That's the problem. She's not the problem. She's in charge of $1 billion property. She's fine. You know, but you don't have to watch it. You know, I mean, these people are upset. Well, she did this with Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker ain't even a real person. He's not a real person. I'm sorry. And Luke Skywalker, I mean, again, I like Luke Skywalker too, but my God, he's an old man. You know, dude had to go. You know, gotta go. You know, so, you know, I mean, what are they doing? They're dropping, the Book of Boba Fett comes out in a few more weeks. Let's see if these incels even talk about it. I better not even see them talking about it. I will do a video and just tear them down. I mean, I will tear them down. That narcissism right here, I'll tap into my narcissistic personality and I will tear you apart. You better not even be talking about it. Okay? Let's see if you're man enough to do that. You know? But again, guys, when people feel like they're being rejected, because remember, they're social hub, you know? And I understand some things we play are socially driven. Left 4 Dead or wherever this new game is out. People are playing. I understand that. World of Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft for 6 years. Okay, I was in a little crew. It was like 5 of us. So I understand that. There are people, and you can go back and find these articles. People got divorced because of World of Warcraft. Husbands were friggin' spending 10, 12 hours playing World of Warcraft. A real story. True story. You can pull up the article again. They had divorced themselves from their reality and not having to worry about their wives and their family, their children. They just totally abandoned their families. Again, these are undiagnosed social disorders. Okay? I mean, if your wife is making you that crazy, go ahead and take her in the bedroom and, you know. That's your reality check. You know, oh, honey, they're about to cut off the electricity. Yeah, baby, I got to go get this ring here. I need to go into this cave and go up the side of the mountain. I mean, that's what these guys were saying. That's a true story. So this has been around a long time. You're not the first ones to go through it, but it's okay to admit that you got to go get some help. Okay, just trust me. It's hard at first. My first day in therapy was the hardest day of my life, but it was the best day. Because I realized at that point, even though my dad was not there, he had given me the tools I needed to be successful. Okay? So the anger, the doubt, the misconceptions and stuff that I had went away. I mean, they went away. The anxiety, you know, still have a little anxiety, but, you know, who doesn't? You know, black men in America, we're going to have anxiety. But there's different skills, there's different coping mechanisms that you have to acquire. Like a game, you have to acquire certain things to get to certain levels, right? So, and that's kind of the way you got to look at it. And it's okay. You're in a stressful environment. You're making it more stressful when you feel like you have to validate yourself. Again, you don't have to tell me you're not interested in going to see the Eternals. Okay, I understand. There's a lot of people that are not going to go see the Eternals. You don't have to justify it and say, I'm not going, it looks stupid. And that's fine. But when you say you shouldn't go see it because I think it looks stupid, that's crazy. Okay? I said that first Venom movie I thought was trash. The first one was trash. Okay? I did not like it, but I did not say, what did I say? Did I say that if you go see it, at what point did I say the first Venom movie was trash and therefore you should not go see it? I said that I wouldn't pay big money to go see it. It's a matinee movie, but if you like the character, then you'll probably like the movie, and the movie made a lot of money. Okay. The second Venom movie I thought was just like the first one. I thought it was just okay. It's a matinee movie, but I'm not going to tell you not to go watch it. Okay. Okay. That's narcissism at that point. Hey, just because I didn't like it, you shouldn't like it. Hey, I like pepperoni and bacon and onion pizzas, and therefore you should like it too. That's narcissism. Okay. That is straight up narcissism. Okay? It's because I like something doesn't mean that you're gonna like it, and just because you like it doesn't mean. And again, you don't have to justify it. Okay? You don't. When you see yourself, when you feel yourself justifying something that you're doing, again, outside validation, you do need to pull it back in. Again, unplug from social media. Stop gaming for a while. Go watch a movie. Go read a book. God forbid you do something productive. Go for a walk. Go for a walk with your girlfriend, your wife, your mama, your baby's mama, whatever you got to do. Okay? You know, but it's okay. My point to you guys is that it's okay to seek help. It's okay to make sure that you have the tools, because you may have the tools and you just don't know. It may just take talking to somebody for 2 or 3 times, and then it's like, oh, okay, I do have the tools to do it. A very popular YouTuber named very popular right now. He's got over 1 million subs. I guess that means he's very popular. Named Kevin Samuels. He talks about therapy and how people need to have ongoing therapy. I agree 100%. Okay, he's out there on Front Street with it. And he, again, it's okay to admit it. Yeah, look, go get the help you need. Go get therapy. It's okay. You know, make sure you're well adjusted, because if you're not well adjusted, if you have kids, God forbid your kids won't be well adjusted, because how could they be? Okay? How could they be? There's all kind of social disorders, anorexia, bulimia, all types of social disorders. Okay? ADD, ADHD. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. So, you know, it is not the end of the world, but your mental health is who you are. Okay? If I see people seeking outside validation to validate themselves, that person or persons or group of persons has an issue. They have an issue. You know, and I work in the healthcare field, and I see it instantly. Like, yeah, that person's got some issues. You know, you know. I mean, I know women that are having trouble finding husbands because they were in abusive relationships and they never went and got the therapy they needed to to help tear down that wall they put up against around themselves. So they're going to be 40 years old, and Kevin Samuel says, you know, go buy a dog and die by yourself. You know, so it's just, you know, there's this, because again, everybody around you can see it. It's like, come on, my guy, you gotta, you know, this has got to stop. You know, when are you guys going to, shout out to Aaron Walker, you just subscribed. So let's see here. There was one more thing, because I want to end it on a good note. So yeah, I used to be socially anxious. I used to be. So, let's see. All right. Same thing. Learning how to learning self validation. Okay, a lot of these people need to learn self validation. You know, every day you wake up is self validating. Okay, every day you wake up, there's a awareness you should have that you woke up, and guess what? There's somebody's mother and father or brother and sister. They're not waking up today, right? So, you know, and it's okay. That's why I like going walking. I just like enjoying the outdoors and feeling the cool air, and especially this morning. I mean, I was like, oh gosh, I had to go back in and get a long sleeve shirt on, you know. But yeah, I'm out there walking around, have my new shoes on. I got those what are these things called? Those foam soles, whatever they are. On the inside, feels like I was walking on a cloud. Well, I shouldn't say walking on a cloud, but it feels a lot better on my foot. I'm like, ah. you know. So, but learn how to self validate yourselves. And if you don't have the right tools, it's okay to seek help. I think most of the people do have the right tools. You just may not realize it. Go talk to your minister. It's okay. Go talk to a mentor. Okay. Again, I'm just, but most of you all have jobs and you can seek help. Tell your supervisor you're struggling with something and you're seeking help for it. Again, they're not going to mock you or make fun of you or say, well, you got to go down to HR, So, because there's a lot of people taking, drugs to stay level. They'll say, I got to go take my happy pill. You'll hear that a whole lot. Let me tell you that. Let me go take my happy pill. It is. You'll hear that. I'm telling you, man, I hear that a lot, Oh, yesterday, let me give you another example. I get an email from Wally World telling me my video game, Alan Wake, is in. And I'm excited. I go up to Walmart. I strut up there through the parking lot. I got my George Jefferson walk going on. I walk in there and I print it out because I don't have a smartphone, right? I printed it out, the email. I walk in there. I go up to the help desk. They say, oh, you got to go back to the back and it should be back there. I walk back there. I'm bebopping and whistling and all that kind of stuff. I get back there and the guy's like, we ain't got it in here. I'm like, what? I got the email. Yeah, I'm sorry. It should be here tomorrow, today. Oh, man, I'm disappointed. I'm upset. But I turn the lemons into lemonade. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll just go and go get some groceries. So I went up there, I got me a 2-liter. I'm like, yeah, I got me some Woodford Reserve at the house. You know what time it is. You know what I'm about ready to get into. I went down aisle 9. I spent $1.88 on the red Solo cup. I roll like that. I roll like that on that red Solo cup. I didn't care that they had the little Dixie cup there for $1.29. Oh, I went red Solo, baby. Red Solo cup. Speaking of that, man, I mean about the yeah. So again, look for learn how to self-validate yourself. Okay. Like I said, I mean, if you're outside seeking validation, then there's issues there. You got issues. Okay. If you're really good at something, you'll get paid for it. Okay. I mean, I was playing my flight simulator yesterday, DCS, not yesterday, day before yesterday. I wasn't feeling that well. I was in the F-16. I absolutely did horrible. It was like, oh my God, I'm so bad. Like this is bad. I hadn't been in the F-16 in a while, so some of the skills was rusty, but man, I did bad, but I didn't throw the controller. I didn't get upset. I hear people say, what do my controller? Why? But yeah, so I'm sitting up there and so I'm like, all right, you know what? These guys were laughing. I'm like, all right, we're going to play in another realm. And I jump into that F-22. I take both them down in under 30 seconds. Who's laughing now? You know what I'm saying? Who's laughing now? Yeah, I'm laughing. So, but the F-16's the F-16. It is hard to learn. It's easy to fight in, but it is hard to learn. There's a lot of step downs and stuff like that, hitting air to air, going bore sight versus track on the tracking. I prefer bore sight, but everybody's different. That's on the secret head. You got to uncage the weapon. It's just there's all these extra steps you got to go through. Now I guess you could say, well, you should uncage at the merge. All right, fair enough. That's what I learned. Okay. I mean, again, I had the tools. I should uncage at the merge. You're right. I shouldn't get into a high speed yo-yo, with an friggin' F-20, not F, an SU-27. You know, it's got a better thrust to weight ratio. I'm going to lose that fight. I understand that now. But again, but that's self-validating. I have the tools. I need to go ahead and learn to get the tools better. Okay. That's on me to get better. Okay. So just remember that. And remember, you will see this. Now that you know what you're looking for, you will see this. You will see people say, well, I bought the Xbox for Game Pass. Nobody cares why you bought the Xbox. Nobody. Okay? You don't have to justify your purchase. Again, seeking validation outside in. Is what that person was doing. Okay? So I don't need an award it's like the Game of the Year awards. I don't care who wins Game of the Year because Game of the Year is what I think it should be. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm happy for the studio that wins. I mean, make that clear. I'm ecstatic for the studio that won. But look, that game that won a few years ago, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, how's that game? That game, I didn't care for that game. That guy gave me a sword. He ain't had no shoes on. And he's like, you got to go out there and kill people. I'm like, where are your shoes? You can't give me a sword and charge me with killing a bunch of people when you ain't got no shoes on. Okay? You know, I mean, you ain't got no shoes on and Kirby ain't got no pants on and Kirby is eating everything. Who's going to pay for this? Okay, so, you know, I just, you know, people I'm seeing make fun of Nintendo because of, oh, well, they charge for this and they're doing that. And guess what? You don't have to buy it. You know, I don't need, I mean, again, why do you care? Do you have a Nintendo system? No, then why do you care what Nintendo's doing? But you see that they're using the fact that it's doing this to justify them saying that it's corny and that it's trash. That's the problem. If Nintendo was corny and it was trash, why do they constantly sell a gazillion consoles? If it's trash, okay? If it's lame, if it's corny, do you see how the numbers, the reality does not reflect what they actually say? And the people can say it's for fun. I understand that. Trust me, I get that. It's for fun. But there's a group of people in your peer group, in that circle that you're talking to that can't discern the reality from what's going on. They don't have the tool to do that. And then this is the dudes you see pulling out the machete, pulling out the gun, pulling out, you know, something to justify their manhood. So, you know, that's just, it is what it is. Okay? You know, feeling threat. I mean, that's like I said, I mean, there's other things going on. You know, I'm closing with this now. There's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness in the Black community. And again, that's just, it is what it is. And the people do need to go get help. There's reasons for it. I'm not blaming, I'm not finger pointing. I've pointed out multiple reasons why it could be happening. It can't be quantified with a number because people don't self-report these things because there's a stigma to it. And it's a problem, and you need to be careful on what you say and who you say it to, because the easiest thing to do at this point in time is find somebody. So just remember, do not get caught up in the stigmas. Do not get caught up in the, well, people are going to make fun of me and stuff like that. No, I mean, if you actually understand there's an issue, it's okay to seek help. Okay. You got a lot of men who grew up, fathers not in homes. They don't have the proper tool set to diagnose and do things, and they run to some violent ending. Okay? How many Black men are going to be killed this year on gun violence by another Black man? Okay? So, and it's the hardest thing to do, and it's for me, and I'm saying it again to reinforce it, hardest thing for me to do was to go get therapy, but it was also the best thing for me to do. It was the hardest thing, but it was the best thing. Okay? I'm worth it. It's going to be hard. You're worth it. You're all worth it. Go get some help, people. It's okay to feel like you need to. There is no stigma. Nobody's going to make fun of you. And if they do, remember, what's on the outside does not count. There's always some ignorant fool at the gas station, at the golf course, somewhere that's going to say something stupid all over the internet. You can see it yourselves. So just remember, people, go with the help. It's fine to do that. I'm just going to see what you guys are saying in chat before I go. Again, appreciate you, J3. I appreciate everybody being here. I see everybody here. Paul, how you doing? Paul Gaming, how you doing? Beeger, how you doing? Ice Don, how are you doing? How you feeling this afternoon in jolly old England? How you all doing over there? Chris B, how you doing? Horace is great. What's up? Big Cloud in the house. Slinks SC, how you doing? AB Media 83, how you doing? Unreasonable man, don't be unreasonable. What's happening? Yeah, I got some new shoes. It feels like I'm walking on this beautiful. So like I said, that's why I was late starting this podcast, because I'm like, I kept walking. I'm like, oh, I gotta go back and do this podcast. It was like 8:20. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm not gonna make it. So again, it's not about the medications. I'm just trying to tell people there's undiagnosed mental illness, and people's mental health is, somebody would say, shaky. So, but there's a difference in fandom and gamers and fanboys. So fanboys are not, by definition, logical. That's why they're fanboys. Fandom is logical. I'm part of Star Wars fandom. Okay, so I enjoy Star Wars content. Some of it isn't as good as the other ones, but that doesn't mean it's trash. It just means that sometimes it's just not going to be as good. Not everything is going to be Empire Strikes Back. Okay. Yeah, Gorilla One. I'm not gonna take it down. And again, there's no diagnoses here going on. There are people with undiagnosed mental illnesses out there. You know, from what I've seen in the gaming community, it's a lot of bipolar stuff. So it's a lot of bipolar stuff. So, there's a lot of self-validation through outside means. Men tend to do that. They want to be validated. Again, black men, because of, it can be a multitude of things. There's the rampant exposure to poverty, which has created different kind of coping mechanisms. And there's all kind of things. I'm not saying that there's not actual issues. People didn't just wake up and are not unreasonable, but there's a whole lot else going on out there. But mostly it's people seeking validation through outside tools. Again, I played baseball when I was a kid. I got a trophy for hitting the ball and doing what I was supposed to do. I don't understand that. I was playing Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2, and you got to recruit your team and stuff like that. Each time you recruit somebody, it gave me a trophy. I'm like, I don't understand. Why is it giving me a trophy for something I am supposed to do? I'm supposed to do that. You know, it's like the comedian Chris Rock 20 years ago said people are walking around talking about, well, I take care of my kids. What do you want, a medal? You're supposed to take care of your kids. You know, why ain't never been to jail? Well, you want a trophy for that? You're not supposed to go to jail. You're not supposed to go. You see what I'm saying? So it's I do not get that. Like that, I don't need outside validating tools to justify who I am. My generation, I'm Gen X, we would say hold your own nuts. I can hold my own nuts. I don't need an outside tool to do that. Only a fool needs an outside tool. If you think you're a great gamer and you're not competitive, there's nothing great about you. Okay? If you're great, then go get paid to be great. Okay? Go get paid to do it. Then talk to me about being great. Okay? My favorite Cincinnati Red is Dave Concepcion. Okay, Dave Concepcion never said how great he was. He just went out there and performed. All right? There's a saying, great players aren't great all the time. They're great when they have to be. How many of y'all watched that Houston-Boston game last night? Okay, Houston down 3-1. When they had to be great, they were great. It wouldn't shock me if they win it again this year. That was a hell of a game they played last night. All right? So, I mean, again, if you're a great gamer, you don't have to, if you... what is your justification tool of being great? Because you're not getting paid to do it. All right. So I can at least, if you told me, you know what, I'm on this gaming team, I play Counter-Strike, and we go all around the world, and I earn my money playing this game. Oh, okay, then I will tip my hat to you on that. But if it's going to be, I came home and I called in the B2 and I got one-man army and I won this round and I had, so? Well, that song, was it Shania Twain? Was it? That don't impress me much. What was she saying? Oh, okay. So you got a law degree. That don't impress me much. Why did you go to law school? To get a law degree? Yeah, guess what? You did exactly what you were supposed to do. So, but that's it, guys. I'm gonna get on off here. I have to go to FedEx and do some other things. A great gamer is only great when the rest of his team sucks. Possibly. Possibly. I mean, again, there's no way to determine if you're great at something. I mean, what measuring sticks are you using? That's what I'm saying. I mean, are you going to say you're great yourself? Okay, I'll respect that more. But don't tell me you're great because of stuff that's outside looking in. That's trash. Okay, that is trash. That's sloppy. If I watch the entire Star Wars, there's 9, 10 movies, give or take. If I watch all 10 of those in one day, does that make me the greatest Star Wars fan of all time? Because I watched all 10 movies in a row. What's up, the master? Appreciate the sub. So, but yeah, just remember that, guys. There's if you're using outside validating tools to validate what you're doing and to validate your essence, your presence, that's trash. That is sloppy. That is some baby bullshit. Okay? Like it said like that report said that we saw, this is something from the childhood that you did not get. Okay? So, and again, that's what that article said. Maybe it's something else. There's other issues. Degrees may vary. I've said this multiple times. Okay? Degrees may vary. So just be careful. And again, it's okay to look yourself in the mirror. All men should do this. Look yourself in the mirror and evaluate what you're doing and what you can do better. You should wake up every day wanting to better yourself. Everybody, men and women, but I'm just talking to the men because I'm a man. The women can go talk to the women. Okay? But the men need to understand that. As I said on Porter Rock's podcast, men lead, men solve problems, okay? Women complain. Okay? Women report the problem, men come and solve the problem. Building, the building's air condition goes out, you call the maintenance man. Okay? You call the maintenance man. Your wife comes in the house, says, honey, I think I saw a snake out by the shed. You're going to go out there and make sure and see if you see the snake. And if you do, you're going to get rid of it, right? Men are problem solvers. Women are out here justifying who they are based on their burqa bag, their coach, where they go and get their nails done. Again, outside influences. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's fine. Okay? So, but again, I mean, that's what I said, man. There's a lot of men out here. Fathers weren't in the homes. The men did not get the proper orientation that they needed, you know, and they struggle. I'm just going to leave it there. These men can start struggling, and because they saw their moms go out and get outside validation tools, they themselves start doing it because it can't be helped because that's who taught them, right? Yeah, so it's nothing against those men. I'm giving you the tool here to look out for that and just avoid it, okay? You know, you can avoid it. Hey, you don't want to buy the Nintendo consoles. You think it's trash. You don't want it. Don't buy it. You know, why tweet about it? I ain't buying that. It's trash. You know, I'm not paying $70 for that. You know, again, if you got problem, my opinion, you got problems paying $70 for something, you gotta go get your money up. I agree 100% with Sick Humor. You got other problems. Okay? So, I mean, again, you putting it out there, what you're not going to do, again, looking for outside validation. Nobody cares about what you're not going to do. Don't buy it. Wait for a sale. That's fine, you know. This is the first year I haven't bought Madden in August in like 20 years. How come I haven't bought it yet? Well, because I have Death Stranding and I'm trying to beat it. And my God, I'm like 30, 40 hours in and I'm still, people are talking about I'm only halfway done. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, I'm what? Are you kidding me? You know? So, because most of these people are, well, again, it takes a while to build something. Okay, it's okay. It does. Okay. I mean, somebody told me that the New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. I said, based on what? He said, well, Tom Brady's been in 10 Super Bowls. Okay, how many did he win? Tom Brady won this many Super Bowls. Well, if he was the greatest of all time, he would have won all 10, right? Right. All right. Now, does this mean that he's not one of the best quarterbacks ever? Nope. Okay. But if your measuring stick is what? Joe Montana? Joe Montana went to 4 Super Bowls, won 4 Super Bowls. What did Hawkeye say to Tony Stark in Captain America Civil War? Played golf, shot 18, scored 18. You know. Again, you know, that doesn't mean Tom Brady, for all I know, is the GOAT. Okay. But what is your tool of measuring? How many Super Bowls he's played in? Okay. But wouldn't that mean the team he was on was pretty good? Yeah, it means the team that he's on is pretty good. Okay. Tom Brady's been in the league, over 20 years, and he's been to 10 Super Bowls. If he was the greatest of all time, wouldn't he have been to the Super Bowl every year? I mean, what if somebody asked you that? Again, outside validation trying to come in. All right? So a team isn't greater than its weakest link. Wrong. A team can actually cover for its weakest link. A great team can cover for its weakest links. Great teams can do that. Okay? All right, and that's reality. I've seen some great teams. Okay, Chicago '85, New York '86, San Francisco, was it 90, 91, something like that. I mean, that team, they had like Ronnie Lott, and Joe Montana. I mean, that team was Jerry Rice. I mean, that team was that team was loaded with Hall of Famers. You know, college football, Miami 2000, 2001. Okay. Miami 2001, out of their 22 starters on offense and defense, 18 went to the NFL. 18! Ed Reed was on that team. You know who backed up Ed Reed? Sean Taylor, the late safety who got murdered during a home invasion. Okay? You know, so I mean, again, they're just fantastic. I mean, Miami's had great players: Warren Sapp, Cortez Kennedy, Jerome Brown. I mean, just just great teams. Okay, so no, that's gone. That's a long ways off. And Michael Irvin played for the Miami Hurricanes. Melvin Bratton. I mean, we go on and on and on. You know, so. But what is? I mean, again, outside again, and I understand. You'll be in a sports bar. You'll go back and forth with some guys. I understand all that. Again, but those guys in the sports bar, they understand reality versus non-reality. There's a lot of guys out here don't have that tool set. Okay? They don't have that tool set. They don't understand. So then they feel threatened. And now that I feel threatened, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out my piece. I'm going to pull out my strap. You know, it's just, my personal thing is that I think they feel threatened. Something's going to be taken away from them, and, that's just the way that's the way they want to deal with it. So, but guys, I'm going to get on off here. Really, I do have to go to FedEx. But just take care of yourselves. Remember, it's all games. It's all fun. But why not today? Just take a break from it. I mean, I'm going to come back and play Death Stranding. I know that. I'm going to come back and play me some Death Stranding. But, I'm not even going to, and I'm not going to stream it because I know a lot of people haven't played it. But yeah, I still have to go and play Resident Evil 8. I mean, I haven't beaten Resident Evil 2 yet. I may go buy that today. Maybe I'll do that today. Maybe I'll do that today. I have not beaten Resident Evil 2 yet. Now, I killed a licker. I think that's what it's called. I killed that thing. That thing was crazy looking. So I went in and, I killed it. That's what I do on Resident Evil, right? And remember, Resident Evil is survival horror, not how many zombies you can kill. Your goal is to survive. So yeah, I may play that this weekend. I don't know. So what are you guys playing this weekend? Me, I'm gonna play a little Death Stranding. I may stream some DCS so you all can see me get humbled and get my butt blown out of the sky. That may be a little fun. But like I said, I got a date with the fellas. We're gonna go ahead and watch a few football games today. And I certainly hope you all have a blessed one. Take care of yourselves. Hug the ones you love. And remember,